Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to our podcast today. These podcasts are brought to you in part by our sponsors, who really truly are what make these podcasts possible every week. O'Fallon Nutrition is a company that I've worked with for over 15 years. They're independently owned and operated, located here in O'Fallon, Missouri, right off of Highway K and Mexico Road. I call this place the Whole Foods of St. Charles County, but even if you are not located on this side of the river, it is still worth the drive. I can remember working all the way down at Powerhouse and still sending people out to O'Fallon Nutrition for their supplements. They are more than a supplement company. You can get grass-fed beef, salad dressing, seasoning for your cooking, hair care products, makeup, deodorant, toothpaste, essential oils, and all the vitamins and minerals that you can think of. If you're looking for clean, whole food nutrition, as well as home care, house care, skincare products, O'Fallon Nutrition is your place. You can take a look at them at o'fallonnutrition.com, or if you'd like to have something shipped, if you're listening to me from outside of St. Louis, you can certainly have items shipped. I know they do free shipping if it's an order over $50, and the phone number is 636-240-5283. Again, it's o'fallonnutrition.com. As well as if preparing your food on a weekly basis is your primary excuse for why you're not able to stay on a good, clean eating program, which is something that I hear very regularly from my clients, I would ask you to please take the time to check out Pure Plates. It's pureplatesstl.com. They are a phenomenal place. We get our food from there during the week. They deliver to our Integrity location. They will deliver to your house. They also are just available for pickup. You can go to their Chesterfield location or their Kirkwood location and just pick up meals for the day, as well as just having them delivered right to your door. So if preparing your food is your main excuse for why you cannot stay on a healthy eating program, then I would suggest just stop by Pure Plates. Just try it. If you're trying to lower your blood pressure, you're trying to lower your cholesterol, you're trying to get your blood sugar down, try to do Pure Plates meals for a week and just see how different you feel. These are organic meals. They are gluten-free. If you need them to be, they can be dairy-free. They are soy-free. You're not taking any processed sugars or meat-curing agents or preservatives. They really, truly believe in nutrient-dense meals that are just whole food nutrition. And I've had my clients, or I've made recommendations for my clients for years at Pure Plates. It's pureplatesstl.com, or you can call them to ask questions at 636-778-3555. Again, remembering that they have a location in Chesterfield as well as in Kirkwood that you can just run by and pick up a meal today. Everyone always asks me where I get my meat from, and given that I really eat meat on a daily basis, typically beef primarily, my meat is very important to me. I have an autoimmune condition and I want grain-free, corn-free meat, and I just haven't found the confidence in stores in knowing that I'm getting 100% grass-fed, grass-finished beef. And I have searched and searched and searched for the right farm, and I have found the farm. It's fedfromthefarm.com, fed, F-E-D, from thefarm.com. These farmers are amazing. It's a family. They're here in Missouri, and they have the desire, just like I do, to see people well and to see people healthy, and they put a lot into what they do. It's such a wonderful family to support. They do offer 100% grass-finished, grass-fed, meaning that's it. A beef, and I get my ribeyes, I get my ground beef, my ground sirloin, I get my chuck roast. I mean, they basically have everything. They even have awesome jerky, but they also have eggs, they have chickens, and they have turkey. I'm planning on getting a turkey for Thanksgiving, and if you'd like lamb, they have that as well. But if you are in need of good quality grass-fed, grass-finished beef, or quality eggs, chicken, turkey, don't just settle for what you're getting at the local store. to go out on the internet and check out Fed from the Farm. That you can arrange a pickup or you can have it delivered to your home. And I can guarantee you're going to taste the difference. For me, my health actually depends on it. So I really thank God to have found such a great farmer. Fedfromthefarm.com. I hope it blesses you.
Welcome to Faith, Fuel, and Fitness, the Integrity Way, with your hosts, John and Debbie Morris from Integrity Training Systems.
Hey everybody, this is John and Debbie Morris with Integrity Training Systems on Real Talk 93.3. So happy to be back with you today. We always like to talk about being a warrior. That's how we like to start the show off. And if you've never been with us before, I usually give the definition, which is a brave or experienced soldier or fighter. And so you don't have to be brave. You don't have to be a soldier. You just have to be an experienced fighter to be a warrior. And if you've ever had something difficult in your life, which I believe most of us can say, that would mean that you have experience. And if you overcame it, that means you're a fighter. And why is this important? Well, the warrior mentality is something we should all have. And all it means to be a warrior is to just keep moving forward. You know, it's not about being brave. It's about potentially being afraid, but moving forward in spite of it. That's a John Wayne quote. And so many people I find get caught in this loop where they feel like they're not good enough, or they tell themselves they're not good enough, or they just say, you know, I'm overwhelmed, or it's just too much, or I'm not going to be able to accomplish that. I'm not going to be able to do that. And, you know, the Bible is pretty clear that what you say has power, the power of the tongue. It's talked about quite frequently throughout the Bible, actually. And what it says is you can speak things into existence. I mean, both positive and negative. So if you're convincing yourself that you can't do something, you're going to be right. You know, it's the quote, he who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right. And the idea of that isn't necessarily that like, oh, well, you know, if I say I can, it magically happens. No. But what it does mean is if you say you can, you'll try. And if you say you can't, I don't know many people that say, I can't do this. I mean, it's impossible. I can't do it, that are really going to give their all to accomplish it. Because if you already, you know, pre-assume that you can't accomplish something, why would you work at it? Why would you continue to work hard if the end game result is just failure? So you have to tell yourself, like, okay, this mountain that's in front of me, I can move it. This Goliath that's standing in front of me, I can slay it. And, you know, if you feel like you can't, then press into God, get in the Word, find the ability to do so. You know, you don't go to war alone either. Iron sharpens iron. Find people to get in the battle with you, like-minded individuals to go shoulder to shoulder with you. Find people to make it happen. And in today's day and age, the day of the internet, I mean, there's so many bad things to use the internet for, so many bad things to use social media for, but there are some good things that can come from the internet. And one good thing is you can go on there and realize you're not alone in overcoming something. And sometimes there's a strategy guide out there for you to just be able to be like, oh, well, I didn't realize that I could do it like this. I have taught myself how to do more things around my house from YouTube than I thought I could ever know how to do. And it's simply because I was like, I don't know how to do this. Let me go find out how. So whatever you're struggling with, seek assistance. Don't sit around and tell yourself it's impossible or you can't do it.
Yesterday at church, Pastor Brad, he said, stay in the place that God has you. Keep exalting him. When the time is right, he will open the door to greater influence and greater provision. You know, we usually try to give an example of warrior mentality, and maybe that is something that happened to us or something that happened to our daughter or something that happened to one of our clients. And so this to me is an example of warrior mentality. I can remember when we first opened our business, I had already been in business for 10 years, but we opened our own place. Instead of me being inside 5 different fitness centers and managing the staff at those fitness centers, we decided to open our own place. Everybody was ready for it. They wanted their own place, right? All the trainers, everybody wanted their own place. And then we opened it, And then there was the harsh realization that no one else was paying the rent for us. No one else was paying the utilities for us. We had to make sure that people came through the door.
Yep.
That meant creating content. It meant sharing transformations. It meant word of mouth. But it also meant creating a product that was so good and so high quality that people wanted to come back. People kept talking about it. And the warrior mentality for me was through all the ups and downs, through having an investor and then an investor falling out and then having to do it on our own, even though the business plan had nothing to do with us doing it on our own, but finding a formula to strengthen our faith and trust God that he didn't put us in there for no reason. And then each year watching lives transform, watching cancer patients become healed, watching 13-year-olds no longer have fatty liver disease, watching type 2 diabetes being wiped off the mat, watching type 1 diabetes being so much less insulin dependent than what they were before, watching heart disease basically get reversed, having a client that literally had an ejection fraction so much lower, and it actually improved to the point to where her doctors were like, we have never seen this happen before. There are so many transformations that have transpired over the course of the past 12 years in that particular building that I don't think any of those lives really would have been impacted in the way that they were if we were in the old situation. But it's so easy to look at the weight of the circumstances in your life. This is business talk, but what's your talk? Is it a relationship that you're about to give up on? Is it a healing that you're about to just say it's never coming? What is an addiction that you haven't been able to turn the corner on? What is your situation? Our situation was we needed to stay in the place that God had us. We knew that Integrity Training Systems was the place that God had us. We needed to keep exalting him. We glorify him and we give him the praise and glory for everything that we do. We get on social media, we talk about him. We get on the radio, we talk about him. Everywhere we go, we talk about him because he is the reason why we do everything that we do, okay? When the time is right, he has opened the door to greater growth for us. And each time that he's opened that door, we have sat back and thought, my God shall supply all of our needs. But you know what? We were doubting. We were worried. We were concerned. And it's really hard to be in faith and fear at the same time. You can't ride a horse with two saddles. I mean, you can't ride the same horse with two saddles. So you can't really move towards success if you're stuck in fear. And you can't really claim faith if you're always thinking the bottom's going to fall out. And the real turning point for us, and when we really saw God change and move in a greater way, was when we broke down the bondage of fear and lack mentality, and we recognize who we are in Christ, and we recognize how powerful the mission is that he has us on and the vision that he has for us and what we're serving every day. And we woke up and said, today we are provided for. Therefore, we will not worry about tomorrow. We will work our hearts out, knowing that tomorrow we will be provided for as well, because we are doing God's work. And if that is the way we have to live the rest of our life, one day at a time, it is what we will do, because it is worth it, because God is our supplier and we will rely on him. And I want to tell you to have that same warrior mentality on your situation as well. If it is your marriage and you have to just get through today before you give up on them, don't give up on them today. Don't give up on them today. Wait one more day and serve them and serve God through your marriage and honor them and honor God through the way you treat your spouse. If it is your food and your inability to stay on your food, get with someone that can help you. Have the warrior mentality to stop trying to do this yourself, to stop trying to take it all on your own,
Know that God will provide. Stay in the place that you're at, that God has you. If you believe that you're where you belong, if you believe that you're doing what you need to do, trust God for the provision. Trust God for the wisdom for the next decisions that you need to make. Trust God for the healing. Believe that by his stripes you are healed. Believe that his hand is on you, and that no matter what, if you listen to the voice of the Holy Spirit and you follow his instructions, you will get to that healing. But if you're listening to the naysayers, if you're listening to someone else, if you're not being obedient in the choices that you make for your body, for your relationship, for your business, you won't get there. For more information on what we do at Integrity Training Systems with a 6-month nutrition program with myself or my online subscription program, please take a look at integritytrainingsystems.com. And for a free personal fitness assessment with any of our personal trainers, give us a call at 636-299-2208. For gluten-free, dairy-free baked goods delivered to your door from my personal bakery, take a look at Sophie's Bakery. And for 100% grass-fed beef, the only meat that the Morris family will eat, take a look at fedfromthefarm.com.
Welcome back, everybody. John and Debbie Morris with Integrity Training Systems on Real Talk 93.3. We were just talking about what it means to be a warrior. And, you know, Debbie was talking about what we do for the glory of God, and the people that we've changed and assisted in just getting their life back or changing their life within our facility. And, you know, I just want to talk a little bit about how when we glorify God and he is our provider, and we know we're provided for, that we have faith, and it doesn't mean that you won't have moments of fear. It doesn't mean you won't have moments of doubt. That's being human. But a mustard seed of faith can change everything. So you have to keep planting the seeds of faith, sometimes even in yourself, and strengthen your faith and embolden yourself when you get hit with something new. You know, you've heard the statement, new level, new devil. It doesn't necessarily get easier. You know, that's one thing that Pastor Brad talked about as well, as he was saying, you know, it's not like, hey, you know, come to church and come to know Christ and it magically gets easier. Like, that would be a lie. But at the same time, he's like, don't, you know, it's not like you come to meet Christ and all of a sudden your life's terrible and worse and you're going to hate it. You know, welcome aboard. Like, he's not saying that either. But what I find is you choose your hard. You know, and you see this a lot in the fitness world. It always shows this like image or this depiction of like a statue, and it's an overweight statue. And then there's this like fitness Greek god that's inside of it, and he's chiseling away at himself. And it's usually from about the stomach up that you can see he's chiseled himself into this. And so whatever you're dealing with right now, whatever is just overwhelming and super hard, and you just don't feel like you can handle it anymore, what do you need to do to change that for yourself? And, you know, what is your why? And you guys have heard me say this before, but what is your why not? Like, why aren't you doing it? Because it's going to be painful? Because it's going to be hard? Because you don't know how to do it? You don't know what to do? So, I mean, choose your hard. You know, go figure it out. Is that going to take some time? Sure, absolutely. You know, working out, getting in shape. Is it going to hurt to do the workout? Are you going to burn? Are your muscles going to get sore? Are you maybe going to get hot and worn out? Sure, absolutely. But at the same time, like, you're sitting around now and you don't feel well and you don't have any energy and you're tired all the time. And you're just in a place where it's like, man, I just wish something was different. Another thing is with what Debbie and I do, whatever you're doing with your job or extracurricularly, it is hard. It's hard to own your own business. It's hard to own your own facility. It was easier to operate out of other people's facilities. But we took on the difficulty because when we took on the difficulty, we increased our fulfillment. We're increasing what we feel God has called us to do. And so, yeah, it's more hard, but we're willing to take it on because we're fulfilled by it. So when you're pursuing your call and purpose, what you're going to find is when you choose your hard, I'd much rather have something that seems difficult to get into that makes me feel fulfilled than something that feels hard and depressing and leaves me in my bed and I actually don't receive any fulfillment at all.
Amen. I know I'm referencing a few references from church yesterday, but I mean, church fills my cup, and there's something about being in the presence of the Lord, but there's also something about being in God's house, being present at the church, and just what you can receive from that word. Pat said, don't worry about the race. Stay in step with the Lord. You won't be early or late. You will be right where you belong. And he also said the enemy will look for any spiritual opportunity to gain ground over your life. I think that, yes, fear will come, right? We do. Fear and doubt will come. But what are we putting in place to keep fear and doubt from coming? I spent years of my life fearing that the bottom would fall out, having an investor in the beginning, and then within a year, the investor going away, and an entire business plan that you based a business on is now void because you don't have any of their money. You have fear in that situation because you have all these lives that you're suddenly responsible for, and you don't really know if you know what your next step should be because you're not a professional at running businesses yet. You've done well at your job, but you don't know yet. So yes, there's fear, but I'm telling you, the turning point in that situation, and again, this doesn't have to just apply to business. This can apply to your health. This can apply to your healing. This can apply to your relationship. This can apply to your children. Whatever the situation is, the turning point for our business growth and the turning point for my personal growth was when I decided faith over fear. The reason why our bags, when you get a bag from us, says faith over fear, why our notepads say faith over fear, why we have signs in the gym that says faith over fear, is because it isn't just a cute quote. It is the way we kept the doors open, is because we made the decision that one day we're serving faith, we're not serving fear. And what does that mean? Okay, so if you're in a situation with your relationship, you're in a situation with your health and you need change, your work and what you decide to do, it's going to make the difference. So how did I get into that faith over the fear? I woke up every day and I declared the word over myself. I listened to a sermon. When I'm walking on a treadmill, I'm listening to the Bible. I'm listening to a sermon. I'm listening to a believer that is strengthening my faith. I'm doing something that is allowing me to feel encouraged, to feel emboldened, to feel built up and stronger. What are you doing to strengthen yourself to be better in that relationship? I remember in the very beginning in my relationship with John, I thought I had a failed marriage. I was married for 10 years and it failed. I don't want this to fail. This man is like part of my soul. I don't want this marriage to fail. So I read 3 marriage books. 3. The book Hedges, great book. The Go-Giver, marriage book, excellent book. And then Fireproof. And then I watched the movie. And I did the whole Fireproof thing with John. I did every single day of it. I've applied everything from the book Hedges. I've applied everything from the Go-Giver because I want to have the strongest relationship possible. When it comes to healing, I can either get caught up in the disease I have, or I can get caught up on how big my God is and how, in spite of any setbacks I've had, I have pressed forward, I have pressed on, I've been strong in the Lord, and I've helped change people's lives no matter what the circumstance was. And so it's going to be a daily decision, but there's going to be work behind that decision. Starting with our first segment, what are we talking? Starting with what I just said, what are you listening to? Who are you spending your time around? How are you sharpening your iron? Who is educating you? Who is building you? Who is guiding you? Who is leading you? Let's think on all of those things, and I can guarantee we will find a way to get you out of fear and get you into faith. For more information on what we do with a 6-month nutrition program with myself or my online subscription program, take a look at integritytrainingsystems.com. Or for a free personal fitness assessment from our personal trainers, give us a call at 636-299-2208. For gluten-free, dairy-free baked goods delivered to your door, take a look at sophiesbakery.com. And for 100% grass-fed beef, the only meat that the Morris family will eat, take a look at fedfromthefarm.com.
Welcome back, everybody. John and Debbie Morris with Integrity Training Systems on Real Talk 93.3. Right before we left, we were just kind of talking about what it means to choose your difficult, choose your hard, and to press into that. And something that I have found lately when we start talking about like looking for assistance, looking for a coach, building things, is I've been talking to clients lately, and I've just got a couple, it's that time of year. You hit the end of the year, people fall off, they have issues. Beginning of the year hits and they're trying to get back on and they're spinning their wheels. And a common word that people say they're struggling with is, I just need my discipline back. I just need to be more disciplined. I got to have discipline. And discipline is a scary word. Like, I mean, it's disciplining. You're in trouble almost is what you feel like. And I find that if you can break discipline down to its root, it's not as scary as you think it is. And what discipline is it's breaking bad habits and starting good ones. And so if you can break a bad habit and you can start a good habit, then you're actually exhibiting discipline. And once you implement those good habits and the discipline starts to flow, then it becomes easier to maintain and keep those things going. But I find that with discipline, people think it's all in. They're like, well, I got to work out 87 hours a week and I have to eat my food flawlessly every 7 seconds when I consume something. And I got to quit thinking about this. And I just have to be disciplined. And it's like, okay, but what does that mean? Like how, or I'm trying. That's another one. I'm really trying to be disciplined. I'm trying. And it's like, but what are you implementing? Trying insinuates that you're actually applying something to make something that isn't currently occurring occur. If you're saying you're trying and you're not having any implementation, you're not just thinking about it, and so if you're just thinking about it, you're not going to get anything done. So quit lying to yourself. So how do I start a good habit? Well, something that our daughter is doing is she's reading the Bible every day. Okay. And she came back to our house after 5 days at her mom's house. And I asked her if she had read her Proverbs every day. And she said that she had missed 2 of them, but that she missed the first 2 days and she read those 2 and the third day, but then she missed the third or the fourth and fifth day, but she was going to catch up on those at our house. And so I was like, so you read one day, you read one proverb, like one day. She's like, no, I read the 3. I'm like, okay, but what we're working on is you reading a proverb a day. So yes, I want you to read all of Proverbs, but the habit that we're building is that you open your Bible every day. So you didn't do that at all. In fact, out of 5 days, you open it one time. That's a 20% ratio. Like that's not good, and she kind of looked at me and she's like, I hadn't thought about it like that. I was like, right. It's going to be really hard to get through Proverbs if you constantly feel like you have to catch up. If you're constantly feeling like you have to catch up in anything you do in life, it's exhausting. And eventually you'll ultimately give up. And so I told her, I said, yes, the goal, the end game, the trajectory, what is being aimed for is to read all of Proverbs and ultimately read the entire Bible. But the discipline is created by the habit of opening your Bible every day and reading one proverb. And so if you start thinking about every problem you're dealing with like that, if you start thinking like, okay, I need to be healthier. And it's like, okay, well, what is the first step? If you're not going to hire a coach, if you're not going to bring someone in, what is the first step? Can you just take sugar out? and try to keep that out every day for 30 days. If you're ready to start exercising, but you aren't in a position where you can afford to come see us to personal train, well, first off, we do a free fitness assessment. Come let us teach you how to mobilize, and then don't come back. But if you can't afford a trainer and you can't afford to do something, have you gone on a walk recently that exceeds what you normally walk in a day? Well, that's a waste of time. It's not getting me there. Is it not? Because if you can go on a walk every day for 20 minutes, have you not habitually built a spot in your day to be healthier? And what can you ultimately end up replacing that with? So what I'm telling you is start looking at what you recognize as a good habit and what you recognize as a bad habit. And if you're looking at yourself thinking you don't have any bad habits, first off, you're wrong. And second off, if you want a reality check, ask your friends and family around you what your bad habits are, and it'll give you something to try to break.
I think for me, it's like, why? Why are you not, like, what are your reasons for not keeping up the discipline?
There, why not?
What are your discipline blockers? So I would love for you to start these habits. I would love for you to do all the things that John suggested, the walking. I would love for you to read your Bible every day. I would love for you to drink your water. I would love for you to stop taking in sugar. Here's what I'd like for you to do. I'd like for you to actually sit down today with a notepad, and I would like for you to write down 20 reasons why you fail.
Yeah.
20 reasons. I want you to write down that you sit and talk to people at the gym too long so you don't get your whole workout in.
Yep.
I'd like for you to write down that you take phone calls that you shouldn't take. I'd like for you to write down that you look at your phone more than you are present with the people, and you don't end up getting the engagement that you want with people because of it. I'd like for you to write down that you spent more time resting, you spent more time playing than you did working. I'd like for you to write down that you didn't prepare your food, and since you didn't prepare your food, it led you to go through a drive-through, and leading you to go through a drive-through led you to have a migraine. And having a migraine led you to drink a soda, and led you to eat a candy bar, and led you to do the things. I want you to write down the things that are your blockers. What is stopping you? This is what I have to do. I have to sit behind a desk. I can give you diet after diet after diet after diet. I've been doing this for almost 30 years. I can give you so many diets, I could make your head spin. I don't want to give you a diet. I want to teach you the science behind food. I want to teach you literally the biology. I want to help you to understand what is happening to your body when you eat food. Because when you grab a hold of this, you will learn, when I feel this way, it's because I didn't get enough of that. When I feel that way, it's because I got too much of that. I know that I need to do it this way, that way, and not that way. And then as the seasons change, I know I need to do this, this, and this. Okay, great. Now, when you start doing those things and then these blockers start coming in, it's not the diet that failed you. It's not the plan that failed you. It's these blockers. And so I sit behind a desk and I say, you're doing great. You're doing great. You're human. I know you made a mistake. I'd like to know what happened that day. I'd like to know what was on the back end of the pizza that you're regretting because you felt really sick after you ate it. I'd like to know the back end of why you didn't get your workout in. I'd like to know the back end of why you didn't make it to work on time, why you're feeling anxious. The reason I want to know those things is because all the habits in the world, all the new plans, all the coaches, all the trainers, all the everything that you hire, everything that you do, everything that you watch, everything that you listen to, it won't get you there and it won't keep you there. And I'm telling you because I have worked with people. I have worked with people who has worked with someone in town and they've lost 100 pounds and they have come to me and they put the entire 100 pounds back on. And then I helped them lose 100 pounds. And then they came back to me 6 months later because they put 50 pounds on. Praise God, they came back, right? Praise God, they came back and they just said, I need help. Okay, I'm not helping you with another plan. I'm not helping you. The plan is not the problem. That we need to figure out what is stopping you. What is getting you so off track? What comes in? And this is all of us. This is every single one of us. We could look back at those first 3 years of business for me and say, what got you in fear? What was stopping you, right? Oh, well, I got distracted. I didn't declare the word over myself that day. I got distracted. I didn't get in the Bible. I got distracted. I listened to church that week instead of going to church. I got distracted. I wasn't on my knees that morning. Do you see what I'm saying? And now we know why I spent 2 weeks in fear, okay, at whatever, those first 3 years, whatever. But let's figure out why you don't stick to a plan in the gym. Let's figure out why you don't stick to your food. Let's figure out why you continue to have arguments with your spouse. Let's figure out why your business is struggling. Let's figure out what the blocks are. Let's yield it over to God. Let's literally take authority over it, and let's create habits around those things. The plan is the easy part. The food plan is the easy part. The exercise plan that gets wrote out for you, that's the easy part. Breaking these hindrances and blockages, that's the hard part.
Yeah, I always talk about what's your why not, and what's fascinating is, a lot of people won't write any of this down. So, like, there's your first thing. Why? It's just a lot of work to sit and write my whys, and does it really work? Okay, well, what's your why not for that to start? Because if you're not writing your whys and your why nots down, we got a long road ahead of us, okay? Steve Harvey has a book, and it's called 300 Things or something like that. We'd have to look it up, but what he talks about is his success. He is a great motivational speaker. He's a strong Christian, and he's been asked to speak at events by a lot of billionaires, people that he says have far more money than him, and he doesn't know why they ask him to speak. And one thing he talks about is they all say, well, you came from nothing, man. Like you built yourself from nothing. And that's different than me. Like I had hedge money coming into this. I had a loan coming into this. You literally started this, and you started with nothing. So how did you go from nothing to where you are? What was your thought process? How did you build? How did you grind? That's what we want our people to learn. That's what I want you to teach me. And he's like, these are people that have far more money than me asking me to do this. And so what he talks about is, he says he expects people to write down 300 things that they want, goals and dreams. 300, not 3, not 30, 300. You write down 300, big or small, personal or for others. The purpose is to clarify your vision, overcome indecision, and actively work toward your desires. But he wants you to get detailed about your wants. Not, I want a new car. I want a red 2025 Ford Mustang. And that beyond money, include experiences, possessions, relationships, and ways to help others. If you're sitting around saying, I just want it to get better, what does that even look like? You need to start really breaking down what needs to get better. Is it your health? Is it your weight? Is it your strength? Is it your relationship? Do you drive a beat up car? Do you need to make more money? Is your job not doing that for you anymore? Are you scared to apply for a new job? And if so, what do you need to do in that? Is your goal to be less scared? Write these things down. You will get to 300 at some point. And what his whole point is if you do that and you check at the end of 6 months and you see how many of those you've accomplished, you can start to accept that you're going to have success.
Amen. For more information on what we do with a 6-month nutrition program with myself or my online subscription program, take a look at integritytrainingsystems.com or give us a call for a free personal fitness assessment with any of our personal trainers at 636-299-2208. For gluten-free, dairy-free baked goods delivered to your door, take a look at sophiesbakery.com. And for 100% grass-fed beef, the only meat that the Morris family will eat, take a look at fedfromthefarm.com.
Welcome back, everybody. John and Debbie Morris with Integrity Training Systems on Real Talk 93.3. Kind of wrapped up the last segment talking about not only discovering your whys, but discovering your why not. And I was talking about how Steve Harvey challenges people to write down 300 goals or things they want in life. He said they can be financial, they can be experience, they can be relationship, they can be anything that you want, and he said be specific. Like, instead of writing, I want a better relationship with my wife, write, I want my wife to give me 7 massages a week. Deborah, you picking up on this? Are you picking up what I'm throwing down right now?
Well,
Steve Harvey said you'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay. He told me you would. He told me you would do that.
I will tell you right now.
Personally,
I know that is
Steve Harvey.
Yes.
Facebook messaged me.
Yes.
I deleted it so that it wouldn't be weird, so I can't show you.
Yes.
But he said that you would do that. But, he says be specific. If it's truly a relationship problem, I fight with my wife all the time. Figure out. Okay.
I was like, you do?
That's a good.
Okay.
That's a good follow up because Debbie and I actually don't fight. So that's another funny thing.
Well,
okay.
I mean, we're human.
Yeah. But like if we fought, I'd obviously knock you out.
Right. Exactly.
I'm tougher than you. Actually, that's not true at all. I think you could. I think you could take me. Yeah. To eat. Because that's another one too. That's another one. Take me out to eat. Yeah. Hey, whoa! Like
you just said you would knock me out.
No, I said to get detailed, but I'm not talking about in your violence. But okay,
this
but
is
let's.
why we don't fight.
Yeah, exactly. It is.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
But
one time you were really mad, like really mad. And
that happens.
I really think it had a lot to do with caffeine and sugar. I don't think it had anything to do with me. And I just remember laughing because I was like, what is wrong with you? I hear you acting the way you're acting. And man, it made you really mad. And so I left. I went outside. And when I came back in, you were laughing. It's like, that was really, really embarrassing how you were just acting. And I wish I could have recorded it because...
Why do you get to tell me that I was embarrassed?
It was really like you were acting like you were the Incredible Hulk.
Well...
And I laughed.
Yeah.
I laughed. So it didn't scare me.
Well, that's because I'm not scary to you. I'm scary to other people.
Well, that's because you love me.
Yeah, that's true.
And you're my protector.
Okay, but listen. Back to the point before my wife...
Show.
Okay. All right. So here's the thing. Let's say that you can see how our arguments go just now. But let's say you argue with your wife, okay, and you're like, I just want my arguments to stop. Okay, but why do you argue? Well, my wife is, whatever. Okay, but why is she like that? And this was the premise, Debbie was talking about the book Go Giver, and there's a Go Giver relationship. And one of the things they challenge you to do is take all of the things that bother your spouse about you and don't do them. And see what happens. And then all of the things that your wife or your husband asks you to do regularly, please pick your boots up. Please put the stuff in the dishwasher. Please do your laundry, whatever. Do them. Do every single one of them. And just don't say anything about it. Just do them. And watch, because the reciprocation that comes out of that it's pretty phenomenal. Yeah. Because the things are being done. So I guess what I'm telling you is when you're writing down these goals, you need to be specific even in your relationships. I want a better relationship with my kid. Okay, but what does that look like? And what do you have to do to make that happen? What sacrifice might have to be made? What stance might need to be changed? What is the better relationship? Well, I don't want them to yell at me. Okay, that's more specific. Well, how do you get that to stop? So when you break these things down, you can see how you're like, I don't have 300 goals or things I want to do. Sure you do. Yeah. I want my wife to be better with this. I want my wife to also be better with this with me. I want my wife you might have 3 for your spouse. You might have 8 for your job. You might have 15 for your finances. That's okay. Because his whole point is you get these things out on paper and then you stay on top of them. You keep tracking them and you tick one off the box and you tick another off the box. And it starts to make you realize like this thing is doable. It goes back to what I was saying a couple of segments ago when I was talking about building habits as being your discipline. This starts building an idea that things are accomplishable. You build habits to fulfill your discipline because it makes your discipline feel like it's doable layer by layer. You write down 300 goals and desires because as you start to check those off, you start to realize you can achieve your goals and receive your desires. It's just going to take some work.
I know for me, like on my list, under the husband.
Why are you already laughing? I don't even like. It's like you before you even started. You're like, I know. Like your voice was already quivering. I know on my list.
I can't breathe.
Like yeah,
Okay.
like that's. I get her going. She'll laugh like that, and then I'm like, hee 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 hee, and I start doing it, and then she's really gone,
We do
which
this
hurts
before we go to sleep.
which hurts my
And
throat to laugh
I feel like
that
I
high.
get dizzy from it. I'm
Yeah.
laughing so hard.
Yeah.
And on my list under husband, I know I don't actually have anything because I just have a perfect husband.
Okay, now
He's
that's
just-
better.
He's perfection.
Okay, but
It's
right,
like the
okay,
heavens
but
opened
so do this.
up.
So this though, we're gonna get detailed. Give me 300 reasons why. I'm perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the first one is because I love you so much.
Okay.
Okay, so the thing I'm thinking is I think you often don't see. I think what's neat about checking the things off the list is I don't think you often see that things are transpiring.
Yeah.
Okay. Like you have a grateful heart, but yet you don't even kind of see these really small ticks that are happening. A lot of times we're so focused on the bigger thing. This year has been a real struggle for me health wise, which I've talked about a little bit, but it is what it is. I'm fighting through it. You know, I haven't stopped doing anything because of it, but it's definitely been interesting. I had a thyroid storm, and what a thyroid storm is I've had a lot of other things happen too, but the thyroid storm happened in the midst of it. You go hyper, okay? And when you go hyper, basically every day of your life feels like you're in the process of having a heart attack, or you've either already had a heart attack or you're having a heart attack, or in the next minute you're going to have a heart attack. You hold your hand out in front of you and it shakes so much that you don't ever hold your hand out in front of you. There's just so many things. You're out of breath while sitting in a car. You know, there's so many things that go on, right? And because I have had the bulging disc, I haven't been sleeping, the cortisol is messed up, I had the thyroid storm. When my thyroid went super, super high, then my TSH went to a 9. If anyone knows anything about thyroid, that's extremely bad. In 2 months' time, I put on 20 pounds. I was in the best shape of my life, best weight I've ever been. I had maintained that for 2.5 years, and I put 20 pounds on in 2 months, doing absolutely nothing different with my food and nothing different with my exercise because of the thyroid storm. And so my mind got so fixated on wait, what can I do to lose the weight, that I've missed the fact that I can hold my hand out in front of me and my hand doesn't shake.
Yep.
I can hold on to my phone and my phone doesn't shake. I can
Yep.
hold on to the steering wheel and my steering wheel's not shaking. I have a normal heart rate. My resting heart rate is 70. I'm out of the storm, right? I have regular T3 now. It's going to take a minute to get the weight off. It's going to take a minute to get the cortisol back to normal. It's going to take a minute to get some of these things going. But man, I don't have low blood sugar every day the way I was having
You don't
it.
feel like you're having a heart attack.
I don't feel like I'm having a heart attack. I mean, there's so many things. I'm not dizzy. I'm not
Yeah.
shaky. There's so many things. So I'm going to cross those things out.
Yeah.
But it's real easy to wake up and be like, I still have to try to figure out how to lose these 20 pounds. Come on, thyroid. Help me out here. Help
Right.
me out, thyroid. But no, thyroid, you have helped me out because I'm not feeling
Well-
like I'm having a heart attack. I'm not dizzy. I'm not shaky. So I'm just saying, when you've got
Yeah.
your list of 300,
Right.
you start checking those things off.
Yeah.
It's almost like a daily gratitude
Well,
list.
it is it's like a daily gratitude list, but it's a gratitude list that shows you're actually accomplishing
Exactly.
things. So when you feel like you're unaccomplished, I mean, our daughter is doing well on how many things right now? She's got straight A's on a report card. She's learning to play her music really well. Again, what could I have got hung up on? Her not reading her proverb. But look at all the other things with her.
Right.
Right. And so it's like you have all of those things occurring in your life too, but you might be fixated on the one. So his 300 list not only gives you things to aim for, but it shows you these things are transpiring throughout your day anyway. You're already having victories.
Yes.
You just need to be able to see those.
And isolating and seeing those victories and celebrating those victories, praising God for those victories. It builds your spirit. It builds your spirit when you're focusing on the victory instead of the failure or the defeat. For more information on what we do at Integrity Training Systems with a 6-month nutrition program with myself or my online subscription program, please take a look at integritytrainingsystems.com. For a free personal fitness assessment with any of our personal trainers, please give us a call at 636-299-2208. For gluten-free, dairy-free baked goods delivered to your door from my personal bakery, take a look at sophiesbakery.com. And for 100% grass-fed beef, the only meat that the Morris family will eat, take a look at fedfromthefarm.com. Thank you for listening today, and God bless.